I like going hunting, just me, my hound, and my gun. Chasing them deer, rabbit, and squirrel, now that's my kind of fun. I like going fishing too, I'll go on any whim, looking for the big bass, the crappie, and the brim. Just give me a wide open field to all cruise. Give me an ocean so deep. I want to ride the longest river in the world, or maybe climb the highest mountain peak. Like going down to the fishing hole, my buddies and me and my old cane pole. Bait them hooks and wet them lines, it's a life I love so fine. It's almost supper time, you'd think the world was mine.
And now for today's outdoor adventure, here's Archie Phillips.
Look at two with one shot.
Oh, look at that. Now, folks, I'm gonna tell you something. We're getting this thing started off with Jerry Simmons, and probably one of the greatest bow hunters in America. Now, there you see it. Shot two with one shot. Jerry has,
One with one shot.
Jerry. Jerry is, he's better known for his bow hunting. He's taken 299 deer with a bow. And he agreed to bring me up here to his favorite carp fishing place on Pickwick Lake up in North Alabama, and some flats way back up in here at carp spawning time. Y'all saw it yourself, two at one time. And Jerry's gonna give us some how-tos on hunting with the bow. And let me get over here a little closer to him. We'll let him show about how he's rigged up. Now, Jerry, I asked you before I come up here if I was rigged up. These boys got me a fancy rig. I got a Zebico 880 with a push button on my bow. And you like a recurve for this fishing, don't you, rather than a compound?
The reason for that is there may be one right here. Did you see how much trouble I had getting on those fish?
Yeah.
The light was bad, and I just couldn't see a good target, so I kept waiting. But sometimes they'll come right between your legs. You won't be able to get a shot, and then you'll see it, and it'll be right here. With a compound, you got to break it over, you know. With a recurve, well, I'll just do it.
Give
like
him a
this.
quick shot, right?
Yeah, I'll give you about a 3/4 draw and thump them.
I got you one now. With mine, when you fire, it peels off, and I got a little miniature fishing rod right here on the end. You can kind of hold them back. And Jerry, yours is one you homemade rigged, isn't it? Show them how that thing rigged up.
Yeah, years ago when I first started doing this, which has been a lot more years, and I won't admit, but anyway, they didn't have fish points, or at least I couldn't find any. They didn't have reels. So I started out experimenting, trying to come up with something that would work, and tried a lot of things that didn't work, but I found out just a simple block of wood like that.
Just mount it on your bow.
With my intelligence, that's about all I can handle.
I tell you.
I don't know about this button, you know, that's complicated. I'd have to write that in the palm of my hand, punch button. And so I got a piece of hacksaw blade right here to retain that. You just wrap your line over it, and then when you get to the point you want to,
and that little
that just retains your line, keep it coming off before
and
you
it
shoot.
just peel right on off.
Yeah, and then you just zip right there.
Well, that is too simple.
Yeah, now there's a lot of good reels on the market, and that would be good probably for a lot of things. I haven't really tried them, but there's a lot of stuff out there.
Now this is our fish area. You say that's one of the best points you can have right there?
Yeah, that's a stingery, and you see what you've done there? That's in the release mode there.
Okay.
Turn it like that to shoot, and then you got him like that. When you get ready to get rid of him,
boy, that's cool.
Folds down. Yeah.
It keeps tearing a big old hole in it, don't it?
Yeah, and if you shoot and go up under a lot of roots, and you hung on those roots, all you got to do is twist your arrow. I'll twist the point, but if you twist the arrow, the same thing happens and you back it out.
Wonder who thought that up.
I don't know, but it was a real good idea. Those first ones that came out with were stationary.
Yeah.
As you might imagine, the things get better and better. But anyway, you shoot one of them under willow roots, we had a lot of problems.
I got you. Well, now, Jerry, the fish come up here. There's one coming at us right now. They come up here to spawn, is that right? In the shallow water.
Mm-hmm.
And a bunch of males that get around a female and bump her. Is that right?
That's right.
So when you see them splashing, there may be a whole bunch of them around one female, right?
That's right. There are a lot of males. They're out here looking for those females. And when they find them, well, they bump up against them, and the females, they roll on these bushes and weeds and what have you, and apparently that helps dislodge eggs too.
I see.
And the males, you know, they spurt the milt on them and are in the general area, and that's the way it's done with carp. They don't guard a bed or anything where bass do.
I got you. Now, Jerry, you're going to just string him up first, and then you're going to pull your spear out, right?
Yeah. Yeah, see, this is a deal here I've made. It's really just a big safety pin.
Uh-huh.
I made me a stringer out of it. And I'll run that through, and on the other end.
Now, Jerry, you believe in a liberal stringer, don't you?
Oh, yeah, sometimes you'll get all you can carry on these things.
So, in other words, that stringer's about 12 foot long, folks.
Yeah, no.
You're talking about a heap of carp now, Jerry.
Well, I don't put them right up my belt. It aggravates me when they get to dragging down the back of my pants. I keep thinking it's a snake when they get the bump in my leg.
Now we got him tied up and ready to move on, find some more. I believe there's one right there, Jerry. There's one right in through here.
May have been. Now, the only reason I went as fast as I did a while ago is because there's raising so much cane. That and cruising, you're gonna have to be easy with it.
Get one, Jerry?
Yeah.
Nail another?
Yeah, I shot a little male I shouldn't have. There's some big females here that I ran off.
There's a bunch of them right here. They're moving in and out of this deep water, though. There's some activity right yonder, too. Something right there, look yonder, Jerry. Is that deep out in there?
It gets,
oh,
not
yeah.
easy.
Look out, Jerry. Go get him, Jerry. I got this.
Got it!
All right.
Jerry, that was an easy shot there.
It's easy except when you miss them.
I ain't got him so good either. Well, I guess I have. Ain't no bad in this.
No. Archie, I believe I hadn't got a good look at your face. It looked like he's trying to get out on the bank to me.
Well, I guess if it's shallow enough water and it's clear enough, if you get close enough, anybody can kill him.
Yeah, I reckon so. You nailed that one.
What I want to do, I want to get him strung up. And Jerry, you know, something this much fun, there's got to be some kind of rule against it.
Oh yeah, they got regulations nowadays.
Have they?
Yeah, I don't know exactly how many years they have them. They didn't have them for years, but we got them now. One of them is your arrow's got to be tied to a line, and the line has to be at least 40 foot long.
40 foot long.
Yeah.
Well, now, what in the world is, who would want to shoot one without the line attached to the arrow?
Well, you can shoot several at a time and shoot for their heads, and you know, you can shoot one with the one on your line, and if you had additional arrows, blunts out of, you know, wood or anything, you could just be shooting fish, but all that's down the drain now. You have to have your arrow fastened to a line.
I see.
And the line has to be at least 40 feet.
Oh, Lord. Look out now, Jerry. In other words, that's the regulation, ain't it?
Yeah, I asked about that. I figured it'd have a regulation where it said your line couldn't be 200 yards, you know.
Yeah.
You know, like you might shoot some game that you shouldn't be shooting if you had a long line.
Uh-huh.
But I asked about it and they said, no, that regulation was...
Now I've got it slipped back.
Yeah, just
I'm gonna
pull
do
it
is
now.
drop it now. He's off. Okay.
But the
40.
whole purpose of that regulation is to keep from people shooting with too short a line and it hitting the end of their line and bouncing back, knocking their eye out.
I see. So they got some kind of reason behind it. It ain't just some
Yeah,
kind
I understand it's a safety reason, but you know, actually 40 foot is a lot more line than you ever use if you were wading. Now shooting from a boat will...
that'd make a lot of difference, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but
But yeah, I enjoyed that. Let's go. Seems like every time we're here, they're there. And every time we're there, they're here.
it sounds like where a dollar bill is for me.
Well, let me ask you, you don't think we're actually spooking them or when we're easing along here? Do you think that they just come and go and we just happen not to be in the right place sometimes?
Yeah, they just come and go and they're following that female. She whirls out in deep water, well, that's where they go.
Well, in my little rig, I believe yours is simpler than this. Look here, all I do, I just wind that slack up, see it right there?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I ain't got one that'd really take it away from me yet. Now, you get up in a 15, 20-pound category, that little rod right there'd help out good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it probably would, though.
But you still don't like it.
Well,
So you got to push the button, make sure the line comes out. Now I'm fixed.
yeah,
And
I
keep
didn't say I didn't like it now. I'm just going to stick with my old home-grown stuff that I'm used to.
Well, there ain't nothing
But
to
now,
worry.
many a time I've had them head out to deep water. It takes a pretty big fish or a buffalo. Buffalo's bad about doing this. When you hit them, they head for deep water. And if you get a pretty good one, I've had them run all the line off there and then see I got it fast in my bow and I'd be following them like that. And I'd try to hold like this and then make a surge and like that, you know, and then I'd get them coming back my
This
way.
drag would work pretty good then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I might do it if you got a real big fish.
And it's just as apt to happen up in here where we at as not, ain't it?
Yeah.
One of them old big females.
Right.
We ain't stuck a great old big giant one yet, have we?
No, we hadn't. You'd probably be a little more apt to kill one close to the river run.
Uh-huh.
So they're like deer. They get a little age on them. I guess they get a little more cautious.
Outdoors with Archie Phillips is now available on video cassette, like Volume 28, Bass 2. A sequel to our original bass video, Bass 2 shows you 3 entirely different techniques of catching bass. We illustrate worm fishing using a 4-inch worm, plunking on top with a plunker and a jig, and a little-known technique of jigger pole fishing. This will really excite you. So ask for Outdoors with Archie Phillips, Volume 28, Bass 2, at your local video store or nearby sporting goods dealer.
There he is.
You want to shoot at him at
And I
the
want
same
you to
time?
shoot him. I want you
Well,
to shoot
that's
him
a
at that
hard
distance.
shot. We'll see
That's a
what happens.
long shot. Hot dog, you got him. Look at that there. Gee, that was a long shot. Oh, boy.
Yeah, we did that just to be doing, but it worked out all right.
Yeah, it did work out all right.
All that proves is when you turn the arrow loose, it's got to go somewhere.
Yeah, it's got to go somewhere. You knew what you was doing on that shot.
As long as you're shooting, you're dangerous.
Boy, that was a beautifully executed shot, Jerry. Beautiful. Well, that's a pretty good sized carp. He didn't look that big out there in the water, did he? Look at that thing. Yes, sir.
A little moss on it.
Yeah, see him right there? Now, Jerry, I don't know
Now,
what I hit.
It stood on its end, your arrow did. It was hitting. I don't know what happened.
I don't know either. I gotta be careful or I'm gonna...
Something wasn't working good.
When I shot under him, like, you know, like we was talking about.
Yeah, but see how your arrow's standing? Your arrow stood on its end just as it was about to hit the water.
Did it?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what happened. Of course, there's some bushes right here. I could have hit these bushes, Jerry.
I don't know what happened. Something wasn't
You
right.
know what I'm saying? I could be on these bushes right here. Let me get over to it. There he is, Jerry. Get that big one right there. Get him. Get him. Right yonder.
Well,
Right
let's
yonder.
shoot over your back.
Go ahead, shoot. Ah, you got him. Woo! Boy, that was another good shot, Jerry. Hot diggity dog.
Look at him go.
Yeah, I see. That's a big one there, Jerry. Look at that thing. Look at it. Let me got my arrow stuck in a log here. Look at that thing. Man alive, he almost got gone, Jerry. Well, he's all down here around
tangle
me
you
now.
up.
Huh?
He's trying to tangle you up too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's trying to tangle. Get him around that. There he
There you
comes. There he comes. Man alive. What a beautiful shot, Jerry. Man, that was a good one there. He was slipping out the back door. Did you see him?
Yeah.
He said, I'm gonna get out the way before these boys get up here. He said, I ain't worried about that in the brown. I'm worried about that with his hat turned backwards.
I thought he had it made too. If you hadn't been over where I could shoot over you.
Well, that's why I was trying to get out of the way so you could get him, Jerry.
You know, I started to try to just shoot through you, but I said it's too thick.
Boy, that's a fine one there. I believe that's the biggest one there, Jerry.
Maybe.
He's pretty good one right there. Yes, sir-ree. That's fine doings right there.
Pretty good.
Yeah, we'll string him up. That's gonna make some fine eating right there.
He'll do till we get better anyway. won't he?
Yes, sir.
Outdoors with Archie Phillips is now available on video cassette, like Volume 27, Crappie 2. Crappie 2 is a sequel to our original Crappie video, which gives you 3 seasons and the techniques to catching crappie. From cold weather winter fishing to a man that uses a little different technique. And in the heat of the summer, a top-notch jig fisherman shows you how to catch fish in deeper water. So ask for Outdoors with Archie Phillips, Volume 27, Crappie 2 at your local video store.
Well, folks, we've had a good day out here of carp shooting. This is the way the Indians did it, wasn't it, Jerry?
Yep, I imagine so.
Now, you told me
Sure
you had
they did, but I don't know whether they had the carp here then or not.
Yeah, well, let me
They
ask you
had
this.
some kind of fish.
They sure did. You said you had this treat in store for me today. Now, what is it?
Well, have you ever eaten any bugle mouth salmon?
Nah, ain't nobody ever eats them old things.
Well, that's what we're gonna have.
We're gonna have that for dinner?
Canned carp.
Canned carp.
Yep.
All right, now, you told me your wife could fix this better than anything you ever put in your mouth. Is that right?
Well, you may be stretching a little bit, Archie, but what I will say is they are better than salmon when they're prepared like salmon.
All right, show us how to make the cuts on them now.
Okay. You can do it most any way you want to. You can fillet them or you can just gut them out, but I always fillet them. Get that knife a lick or two.
Okay, that's your little special sharpener that you have there, isn't it, Jerry?
Yeah, I got a ceramic rod in there too if you need a few licks if you need to, see.
And then you got it, okay?
Yep. But anyway, I'm just gonna cut this dude off with this stringer
Okay.
where we can get to him.
And while you're doing that, Jerry, I want to tell the folks, we're sitting here at Keller's Bluff at Bill McNahan's place. And what y'all see and you think is gravel is tons and tons of indent chippings. All of these, I stepped over and picked up arrowheads like that right there. All of this right here is flint chippings right there that you see. Go all the way out into the river before it's raised out. All right, now you just, what, you gonna go down his backbone there, Jerry?
I'm gonna try to, Archie. Having a little difficulty with that one.
Okay. Now, I want to tell them, too, that don't let your stringer out too far. We like to cut these up with a propeller when we left out a while ago. And, but you do need to string them back behind you pretty good when you're out there walking around anyway, don't you, Jerry?
Yeah, you do.
All right, now we got a fillet right off the side. Now, what are we going to do with that?
Right. Well, we're gonna flip it right over. Get that mess out of it.
All right.
And then you just start like this. Hang pretty close to the skin. You can hold off of it a little bit. There's some red meat there,
Uh-huh.
and that will get rid of a lot of that red.
That's this right here.
Yep.
It's too red, so come
See,
off of it a little bit, right?
See, I hung a little high to the hide.
Yeah.
See, now right here is another small streak of red.
Uh-huh.
And if you want to, you can trim some of that out.
Let's get you, this don't have a good flavor, does it?
It's not as good as
You want the light
so you can
color.
trim that out. Yep.
And that's ready for your wife right
Yeah,
there.
you just chop it up in small segments.
And now what does she do to it?
She puts it in a jar and puts a little salad oil in there, a little salt, a couple of drops of cake coloring, red cake coloring, just for looks.
I got you.
And you pressure cook it for 80 minutes, 15 pounds.
And then we fixing to eat some of it here in just a
Yeah,
minute.
I've got some cans
All right, let's
up
get
here.
up there. Let's get up there and have some here. Let's just come on up this way. Now, Jerry, I cut them taters up, I cut them onions up, and you squirted that parquet butter on there. We've wrapped them up and put them over the little charcoal thing. Now they're cooking.
Right.
All right, now what's next?
Well, we'll get these carp going here. You see what I've done?
Now make sure everybody understands what we're cooking. C-A-R-P,
Yeah,
carp.
C-A-R-P, fit for nothing, good for nothing, worthless to eat carp.
That's right.
But
Now,
they're better than salmon.
okay. You're gonna put the Wesson oil on the pot, and then what?
Yeah, I'm gonna let it get good and hot first. Let me go ahead and put some of this in here. Let it be getting hot.
All right.
Now what I've done here, we've mixed some meal and flour, and we put a little salt and a little pepper in there. Broke an egg over in there, beat all that up. Then we've dumped this can of carp,
That
canned
your wife
carp, pressure
canned.
cooked carp.
Okay.
We've dumped that in there, stirred it all up together, and as soon as this oil gets hot enough, we're gonna make some little patties, put it in there, and fry
Cook 'em, dude.
Right. Then we're gonna eat them.
Eat them. There you go. Now, Jerry, I want to say something else too. This is a arrow that Jerry made that killed a deer with. You can't hunt them with flint anymore.
No, I did that in 1968 just
68.
to be doing.
And there's some regular Indian stuff he's done. He makes his own flint, makes his own arrowheads, does all kind of stuff. He's got a throwing stick and lances, and Jerry knows all about this Indian stuff, but you ain't a real good Indian cook though, are you, Jerry? Just average. All right, let's get this stuff going.
Outdoors with Archie Phillips is now available on video cassette, like Volume 26, Black Powder Hunting. Relive the experience of your forefathers by experiencing hunting with the old style. Hunting with a black powder shotgun is an enjoyable way to put a little variety in your hunting style. You learn how to load the old smoke pole and how to anticipate the delayed action. This video includes hunting of quail, squirrel, and rabbit. So ask for Outdoors with Archie Phillips, Volume 26, Black Powder Hunting.
Folks, we're pulled in here at Keller's Bluff at Bill McNahan's place, and got us some carp. Yeah, you heard it right, carp. Fine doings. Jerry Simmons' recipe from Jerry's up around Jasper, Alabama. He's in the archery supply business. He's kind enough to bring me up here and show me how to shoot these carps and cook these carps and enjoy the great outdoors up here on Pickwick Lake in North Alabama. The eating's good. The carp's good, the taters is good, and certainly the pork and beans is good. Jerry had a good time being with you.
Shooting was better though.
Shooting was better. And we want to invite all y'all folks to be with us next time for some more Outdoors with Archie Phillips.
Outdoors with Archie Phillips is now available on video cassette, like Volume 25, Smallmouth. The acrobats of the bass family, smallmouth is known for its jumping exits from the waters, and this video is no exception. You learn how to catch them in swift water with live bait and also on grubs while jigging on Indian mounds. You learn the rigging techniques as well as where to get the bait. So ask for Outdoors with Archie Phillips, Volume 25, Smallmouth, at your local video store or nearby sporting goods dealer.
Well, I like going hunting, just me, my hound, and my gun. Chasing them deer, rabbit, and squirrel, now that's my kind of fun. I like going fishing too, I'll go on any whim, looking for the big bass, the poppy, and the brim. Just give me a wide open field to walk through. Give me an ocean so deep. I want to ride the longest river in the world, or maybe climb the highest mountain peak. Like going down to to the fishing hole. My buddies and me and my old cane pole. Bait them hooks and wet them lines. It's the life I love so fine. It's almost supper time. You'd think the world was mine.
And now for today's outdoor adventure, here's Archie Phillips.
Wow, Terry, you got one before I even got started. What in the world you got going on there?
I don't know, I got one.
Yeah-wee. Well, folks, we're up here on Neely Henry Lake, and we're gonna start a morning of gar fishing with Terry Smith from up here at Glencoe. And when we get that thing in the boat, we're gonna explain to him how we're gonna get this day going here, Terry, but you gotta get him in the boat first, ain't you?
We're gonna try to get him in the boat.
All right,
now.
let me get your glove here. Now, this is the tricky part right here. Now, you got your line wrapped over his nose there. He might break off when you try to get him, won't he?
He may do it.
You let me hold your rod?
I got him, maybe.
All right. Watch your hand now, look at the mouth. Oh, look out, look out, look out. Now, folks, this is what we call a long-nosed gar or a fish gar, and that's not the biggest they get, but would you call that in a medium-large, Terry? Whoa, hold on, boy, hold on.
It's a medium, I
About a
guess.
medium?
About a medium.
You know, a lot of folks don't realize it, but the old gar, I ain't one of them folks that believe in evolution, because if evolution was so, this particular fish would have already changed.
That's right.
But they tell me they turn these mountains upside down. You look in them old rocks, and there, this old gar. He's a prehistoric type fish. And Terry Smith here is, like in the stinking hot summertime, has figured out a way to catch these things, to spice up your hot weather fishing, and it is so much fun and so easy. We're gonna take you on a little trip today and hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Terry's telling me about it, and we're gonna get out and show you how to rig and get out there and get with it. Terry, how old a fish you reckon that one would be? Got any way of knowing?
I really wouldn't know, Archie. Probably maybe 2 years, 3.
Well, if you get your rough fish count up too heavy, it really works on your fish population, doesn't it?
On your game fish.
Yeah. Well, boy, that's a fine one. I want you to show me about this rigging here now. What we're gonna do now? You just tell me you figured out how to cook and eat these things too, hadn't you?
Well, basically, they're fire-eating fish. You got to know how to clean them. You got to know how to cook them, but they're edible.
I want to say this too. Let the folks. Oh, look out! And you got to be careful. You got a leather glove here. Them teeth will absolutely just tear you to pieces. They'll rip your hands up. And so you got to have your good leather glove when you're doing this kind of fishing.
That's
but
right.
The eggs on these things are deadly poison. So don't cook any gar eggs. I mean, I want to tell you that up front, they bad. The meat itself, all the books rated as poor, but Terry here's figured out how to make it good. So maybe we can get you to tell us a little bit about that as we go along. All right, let's put him in the box and let's figure out how to do this thing, Terry.
There's no easy way.
That's your gar box, ain't
That's the gar locker.
it? There you go.
All right, usually that looks like I'm just gonna have to cut the bait loose, because the line's frayed, it about broke there.
I see.
I've been thinking about using some steel leader. I need to get into that, but anyway, he's in there and we'll rig up for another.
All right, if you would take a minute here, Terry, and tell us how you rig this thing up. Now, these baits are already ready now, and tell us how you get there.
Well, this is just nylon rope.
There's a piece of it right there, ain't it?
This piece here is braided. I found some that's not braided. It's just twine rope, I guess. And
But they can use this. It's just a lot more trouble, ain't it?
It's a lot more trouble to get frayed out. And on this twine rope or this, you just take your brush and just comb it out.
Regular old hairbrush,
Just
right?
a regular hairbrush. Comb it out and get it frayed, just as much as you can. And on the twine rope, it's much easier, but on this braided rope, you have to work with it more.
All right, now show them what happens when that fish hits that thing.
Well, I guess basically just, here's one of them small ones, upper head, and they just hit it thinking it's a shed, I imagine, and it gets wrapped around their teeth there, and it won't come loose.
All right, now, explain to them now how how your cast is and what your motion is now, Terry?
Well, it's about like crappie fishing with a jig. You just work your bait like that usually. Of course, sometimes you can, you know, vary your retrieve, whatever, like anything else, but just a slow, steady.
Slow, steady. Do you jerk it a little bit or just kind of just reel it?
Now just
Steady
kinda working
retrieve?
along. Usually that works about as well as anything.
Well, you done got me nervous. I want to catch a boat full of them things. Let's reach out there and get them.
Outdoors with Archie Phillips is now available on video cassette, like Volume 24, Bird Hunting. Bird hunting is so popular because of its fast movement and snap action, which refines the skills of hunters. This video has the 3 most hunted of the feather: dove, duck, and quail. You learn valuable techniques of using decoys, blinds, black powder, and pointers. Proper identification is important, as well as how to cook them up. So ask for Volume 24, Bird Hunting.
Look out, Terry. You nothing touch it.
He's on there.
Now what'd you just backed off? You didn't snatch or nothing, did you?
Don't jerk.
Just kind of let him do his thing.
Yeah, just let him get tangled up in the rope.
Uh-huh.
And then let him do what he wants to do, usually.
In other words, you really, it ain't like regular fishing. You're more finessing than you are trying to bring him to the boat, ain't you?
More or less. So they're too mean a fish and they get big to just manhandle them.
Boy, oh, that's a pretty good one there, ain't it, Terry?
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah. Hold that thing. Now they're out there rolling. You got him pretty good? Whoa, here, Terry, hold on there.
If he don't cut the line,
Can you tell if the line was around his nose?
I don't think it is.
As long as you got your line clear of his,
Yeah.
of his, yeah, you're okay on that one, aren't you? Yeah, there you go. Oh, hold him. Hey, Terry, this is some kind of fun right here, buddy.
I'm telling
I can take to this quick. Look at that big devil.
you, he'll pull on your line if that's what you want.
All right, now you got him, looks like pretty good, Terry. Would you say that's a pretty good holt right there?
Yeah, I think so, but I don't think he's through. He don't look like it.
Let me tell you a little trick. Sometime now on them alligator guards, what we used to do is just touch your eye right there,
Yeah,
and he'd get that last little bit of running.
done.
Yeah, and when he gets the one thing about a gar, at first they'll cut on out, but if you make them surge and they use all the energy up, once they've surged out,
Yeah.
then you can usually kind of put them on in.
Ease them on in. Yeah, you have to wear them out for sure.
Let me get out of the way here. Let me get that glove
here.
here.
That glove.
All right. Whoa. Now about what pound test line you got on there, Terry? You ain't got him so good. Look at
he's
you
not
fixing to
good.
lose him. Huh?
Maybe not.
Look down there. You barely got him, Terry.
That's a
Huh?
14 pound.
You want me to hold your rod?
I got it.
You got it? You ain't barely got him now. you got to put that finesse touch on him. Hold it there.
Watch it.
That's bigger than that last one.
Yeah, it's a little bit bigger.
What would you
now.
figure that in the way right there, Terry?
I don't know. What do you think? 10 pound?
Yeah,
12?
yeah, he should. But once you get him, you don't never just give him no slack with that
No.
glove hand, do you?
No, you can get a pretty good grip on them the way their teeth are, but if it ever gets loose in the boat, it might hurt
Hold
you.
him up, Terry. Let's look at that. Look at the pattern on that thing's tail. Big old black spots in here, and you got spots in here, and you got some spots right along in here.
Yeah.
And but now, man, this is fun. You reckon we can do this all day?
I don't.
Huh?
Looks like we might, Ken.
Now, the main thing, Terry, is this. This is a real hot kind of day fishing. I mean, you want it what? July and August, September?
Usually these things start rolling out here from, I guess, late March on through September a lot of times, and they're here. If you ever find an area where they're surfacing like this, they're gonna be there. Usually.
Why you think they're surfacing out here like this?
They got to be somewhere.
Yeah, but what I mean,
they're coming up for oxygen here, where you believe it or not, they can get oxygen out of the air. You see the size gills this fish has on it, that's not enough for this size fish. He's gonna have to get oxygen them somewhere else.
I
you
see.
know?
In the summertime, there's not much oxygen in this water either, is it?
No, that's right.
Well, I'll be. Oh, boy, that is neat. Well, I'm ready to get out there and get me a hold of one of them things there, Terry. You putting it on me bad now here, 2-1. 2-0, let's correct that.
Well, I've been fishing for them a while.
You gonna be able to undo that one?
I think I can save that one.
Boy, that is neat.
Did you feel it?
Yeah. There he is. There he is. There he is. There he is, Terry. Now, what you want me to do now? Nail him? Just
No, just let him do what he's gonna
right.
do.
Just finesse him.
Just
He's gone.
Easy. Yeah, just easy.
I'm
with it.
easy. I'm easy.
Just, you know.
I think he's on there now.
Yeah, he's on there. Make sure your drag's slipping. Make sure. Okay. All right. We ain't no.
Now, you know I ain't got but about 8 or 10 pound test line on this thing.
Well, just hoss him, play him out.
He's out there. There ain't no way to know what size they are to get them up beside the boat either, is there?
Not hardly.
And if that line is across that bill, I'm in trouble, ain't it?
Yeah, if he's across the. Yeah.
What I mean, if it's
If it's around his snout, he's gonna cut it.
yeah.
You really need a steel leader, but I think it's gonna cut down on your action. And if you keep a taut line on him, he's not gonna get that line wrapped around his snout.
I got you. Well, that's about 4 hits for one nail. What is your hit-catch ratio, Terry? Is it you miss quite a few of them?
I'd say probably about half.
You miss about half of them?
Yeah.
And I say, I can't put no pressure on him no more.
No.
Line and I got. Look out.
You might need to follow him.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. You're getting around that motor too. There he is.
You got
It ain't a real big one, but it's pretty big for what I'm fishing with. Look at him, Terry.
Yeah.
Look at that thing. I got him right out on the end. All right, hey, whoa, 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 but he took off that thing. He ain't done.
You're not.
Hey, this is fun here. Look at that thing. Look at him.
You want me to put the glove on him? Or
I tell you what, Terry. Wait, uh-oh, I'm in trouble now. I'm in trouble. He done got that.
You might be. You still
Uh-oh.
can't hoss him, Mo.
No, he's on that line's on the other side of that bill, Terry.
All right, just ease his head out of the water if you can.
I don't believe I can. Terry,
Yeah,
I'm in
just
trouble right there.
Go easy with him.
I'm in trouble. You think you can get him?
You can get him up here.
Huh?
Just kind of ease.
He'll break that line sure as I'm a foot
just
high.
ease his head up.
You got him? That's what I call a quick grabberoo.
You
All
got
right, can you? Let's see how we got him on the nose there, Terry. Wait a minute. I'm gonna have to get me a glove. Hold on a minute. Let me get fixed here. I want to let before we get him. I ain't got him real good.
Get.
All right, I got the box. I ain't gonna get him. All right, now. Just, can you ease your hand under that a little bit? I just want to see how that line is hung up on him there. You got him? Yeah. Now, I want you folks to just, now, buddy, he is wrapped up for good, ain't he?
He is roped.
All the way around, but now, where I was in trouble, my line, he made a roll, and that put that line across that bill.
That's right.
And when that happens, you're in bad trouble, ain't you?
Usually. Probably be best to go with steel leader, but you know, there's plenty of them.
Yeah.
If you lose one, you can catch it.
Well, now that was 10-pound test line right there. Landed that thing right there.
You're doing all right.
That's pretty fun, ain't it?
Yeah.
Outdoors with Archie Phillips is now available on video cassette, like Volume 23, Bottom Fishing. Off the Gulf Coast has always yielded a many good catches because of the reef building efforts of the captains found in this video. Whether you like plate size or man size, you learn the rigging techniques from veteran deckhands that keep you hooked up. You see triggerfish, amberjack, groupers, and even a stingray. So ask for Outdoors with Archie Phillips, Volume 23, Bottom Fishing.
Look at that. Did you get that?
Well, he broke right at you then, didn't he?
Right at there. We're sitting right on top of him. There's another one.
Let me get out of your way. Let me get out of your way. All right, I get you. Where's your glove? Where'd you put?
That one's going.
Is that a good one?
I believe that might be a good one.
Where's your glove at?
Over the console there.
Yeah, here we go. Hold him, Terry. Hold that thing. Don't let him go. Now, you done had a couple of hits there, and he ain't done nothing, hasn't he?
Yeah, no. Oh, he's ripping that drag
Now,
out.
we're right on the shoal of this thing, ain't we? Right off where it comes up and then just on the lip, more or less, aren't we?
Drops off right into the river right here.
And we just patrolling about a 30-yard area here, aren't we? There comes his head. Oh, that's a beauty. Yeah, there it comes. There it comes. Woo-wee!
You gotta wear them down. You can't.
You can't put no force on it, can you? I see it wrapped around the end of his nose. He looked like he got him around there pretty good, don't he?
I think he's gonna be. He don't think he's gonna be all right.
Now, when they see the boat, they usually don't. They don't like that. He seen you that time, didn't he, Ted?
They don't like that for sure.
Well, I know one thing. When fishing for them alligator gars, sometimes they'll roll up by the boat and you say, "Man, he is whipped," and he won't be whipped at all. You want to just wear him right on out, don't you?
Yeah, you gotta wear him out before you can handle him.
All right. Now, do you think he's had it?
I think he's had it. Maybe you gonna grab him?
Yeah, I'm gonna grab him. I got him. I say I got him. I got him with both hands. Look at that pretty thing. Now I tell you, this has got to be. Hold him, Archie. I got to put both hands on him. This has got to be the new Southern sport. This will take pressure off a bass like. Hot dog, I can't hold it there. Hold on. There ain't but one place that on that end that you can get him. It's right there on the end of the nose, isn't it?
It's the only way you can handle him.
Well, that's the only way where that nylon will tie in is that last 3 inches, ain't it? See, it's back down the sides there. His mouth closes down too good, see?
Yeah, pretty much so.
It's about 3 inches up through there.
Yeah.
And right out on the end.
I believe this
Woo,
is
Terry, you got it. Oh, look at that thing. What, he just pick it up just then?
Yeah, right there, pretty close to the boat.
My goodness gracious alive. He ain't gonna be one you gonna run up. Have you got your line clear of his nose?
Yeah, I think so for now, if I keep a tight line on
Ooh, what a good one. Don't let him get on that motor. Anything I can do up there?
him. Not yet.
All right. Boy, that's a fine one. That's the one you've been looking for, ain't it?
Yeah, I believe that might.
What's your biggest one you caught so far, Terry, fishing for these things?
Yeah, right at 20 pounds.
20 pounds.
This one might get pretty close to it again.
Don't point that rod tip. I ain't gonna backseat drive you, but. Woo, look at that big devil. Hot dog, let me get all this stuff out of the way, 'cause we allowed to have bedlam when you get him up
We
here.
liable. If he gets loose in the boat, we're hurting.
Goodness gracious, look at that thing.
Look
Look
at
at the
the
mouth on that thing. Now you notice nearly every one of them though, caught right up
Yeah.
close to the top.
Yeah.
He's wrapped up pretty good, ain't he?
Yeah, I don't
See,
think.
some of that lines went around the other side there too.
Yeah, I don't think that.
You want me to touch him? See if he'll come?
I don't know where he's through yet or not.
Let me touch him, make sure. I'll touch his eye. No,
No,
he ain't through.
He ain't finished yet.
He ain't through. Let me see. There he goes.
Uh-oh.
See, I knew he wasn't through. We want him green when we get him in there. We
Yeah.
don't want no flopping in the boat.
No, that one's too big. To
Yeah, he
get
beat up
loose
everything in the boat. Just touch his eye, and if he don't flop no more after you touch his eye, we can probably boat him. I believe we can boat him now.
Yeah, I believe he's.
All right.
Maybe.
Hold on now. Hold on. All right, you just
You
keep
can't ever tell.
keep your rod.
You gonna handle him?
Yeah, I get him. Just get him on over here now. I'm good mind to reach right in his mouth. What do you think?
I don't.
Ah, no.
Yeah, let me get him. You want me to get him?
Bring him up here.
You gonna get him?
I get him. Get him up
All
here.
right.
Get him up.
I don't know where you ought to just grab one side of his mouth or not.
I better grab the whole thing, hadn't I?
If you can.
All right, get him up here. Hold right still. I got him.
Ah.
Woo, look at that thing. Look at that thing. What a gar.
That's pretty nice.
Woo, that is a fine gar.
That is a nice.
Well, that can go 20, Terry?
I think that's the best one of the day, don't you?
I guarantee you, holding him, I know he is. Get on the other end. Let's stretch this thing out across here. Let's see how big he is.
Okay, let's.
Kind of get your rod where you won't mess up. I got one hand. I tell you, you have to hold one hand and squeeze it with the other and
Yeah,
keep
you
that
got-
mouth closed.
Hold that now. Don't try not to let him thrash. If you
I ain't gonna let him thrash.
I ain't got no hold on.
You ain't got no hold on him? Look at that. Now that is a fine. This is what we call, I guess, a needle nose or fish gar. You notice we ain't caught a single, what little short nose or spotted gar. No. And I don't know if we got any alligator gars up in this part of the country or not, do you?
No, I don't never noticed any on this river. Look. I think it's needle.
Outdoors with Archie Phillips is now available on video cassette. Like Volume 21, Dangerous Hunting. Boar hunting takes you on a wild boar hunt in South Alabama where the hunter becomes the prey. Alligator hunting takes you to the swamps of Louisiana for a strange but exciting alligator hunt. And Rattlesnake takes you deep in South Alabama for an educational afternoon full of fangs and rattles. So ask for Dangerous Hunting at your local video store.
Well, folks, this big old pile of gars here, and I would estimate we've got at least 60, 70 pounds anyway, hadn't we, Terry?
Probably so.
World's greatest gar fisherman, Terry Smith of Gadsden, Alabama, or Glencoe. These fish were all caught without a hook. That's right. We didn't have any hooks at all. What we used was Terry's nylon rope. All that is a regular old nylon rope, undone, unbraided, and tied on right at the end with a little sink lid at the top. Now, Terry, we was in your special places, but take just a second here and tell them how to find a place that you throw this rope around to catch these gars. They're all over the South everywhere these old gars are.
Yeah. Well, usually from late March to early September, you find them on the shoal, surfacing. They're coming up for air, believe it or not. Get oxygen out of there, and when you see them surfacing, just fish for them till they hit, because they'll go to hitting some time of the day. And
we tried it all day long. It seemed like that from the mornings to about 9 o'clock, and then you can get a few along during the day, but then in the afternoons, after about 3, it picks up again. So they may be like bass. We just don't have enough information about it, do it, Terry?
Not really.
Well, I've had a thrilling day today, and I know what I'm gonna have in my tackle box every time I go fishing. If them bass slow down, I'm gonna go to gar fishing.
There you go.
Now, and Terry, you're gonna get these all cleaned, use a sawtooth nice, and you get the back strap out of them, and do you fry them in meal just like regular fish?
Deep fry them, they kind of got a certain length of time you need to get them out of the grease, you know, but they'll cook up where they some fairly good eating.
Well, that's fine. Well, this is Archie Phillips, and we're up on Neely Henry. Had a good day of gar fishing, and y'all folks stay tuned again next week for some more Outdoors with Archie Phillips.
Outdoors with Archie Phillips is now available on video cassette, like Volume 19, Cooking from the Wild. Deer butchering shows how to butcher deer into steaks, hamburger, and even sausage, while Outdoorsman's Feast is a cooking show of many different game and wild plants to prepare an extravagant feast with all the trimmings. So ask for Outdoors with Archie Phillips, Cooking from the Wild at your local video store or nearby sporting goods dealer.
Well, I like going hunting, just me, my hound, and my gun. Chasing them deer, rabbit, and squirrel, now that's my kind of fun. I like going fishing too, I'll go on any whim, looking for the big bass, the crappie, and the brim. Just give me a wide open field to walk through. Give me an ocean so deep. I want to ride the longest river in the world, or maybe climb the highest mountain peak. Like going down to the fishing hole, my buddies and me and my old cane pole, bait them hooks and wet them lines. It's a life I love so fine. It's almost supper time, you'd think the world was mine.
And now for today's outdoor adventure, here's Archie Phillips.
Well, folks, we're out in the middle of Gulf of Mexico. We're south of Mobile, Pensacola, about 10 miles off. We're doing some spear fishing and been hunting and pecking around here. And we got Ray Hawkins here, who has kind of pioneered this trip. And Ray, who's some of the fellows we got going to be doing this diving with us today?
We got Jim Hanlon on the end, Mark Kennedy here, second from the end. It's Mark's boat. We're
It's a fine
on
boat
the 46-foot Quasar out of Mobile, Alabama.
What's his boat's name?
Quasar.
Quasar, I got you.
46-foot Bertram.
Uh-huh.
We've been experimenting with Mark's new camera system today. We got a remote camera that we let down to the bottom. We figure it's going to cure a bad dive. You can never make a bad dive. Drop it down, you can test your water visibility and see what kind of fish are there and everything before you ever get in.
Probably going to revolutionize bottom fishing.
Oh, it's the most important thing next to a fishing rod.
Yeah, you can see what's down there. And
we got Bob Conklin here from Eagle Marine. He's out here.
Put the little tops and go over them.
That's right.
Boats, don't it?
That fine tops on those open fishermen's.
All right, well, we got all our tanks and all our gear here, and Mark, you've seen fish we've seen them with your camera, and we've also seen them on your chart up there. Let's get down and get a few of them. What do y'all say about that?
That'd be great.
Y'all folks join us underwater out here in the Gulf of Mexico for a spearfishing trip. Well, Bubba, you know, this was neat, letting that camera down from that boat on these little pieces of junk. They're real hard to find.
Yeah, this is Mark Kennedy's new invention where he takes a closed-circuit TV and lowers it down on a cord, which is attached to an umbilical cord, and what you're seeing is the first divers down, and we're watching it up a topside so we can see exactly what's going on. And every now and then you see that cord flick in front, and this is, I believe this is Ray down first, and you can see the visibility of the water and also exactly what kind of fish you've got down here.
I believe that was Jim using a spear gun, wasn't it? Or did Ray have a spear gun with him and a pole spear?
That could have been Jim. But you can identify the different fish right here, which is a lot better than just looking on the graph that just shows you that you've got fish. You can actually see exactly which kind of fish are down here.
Of course, you're going to get a bumpy up and down because we're in about 6-foot seas out there. But basically, we had a good wad of red snappers run from 2 to 3 pound, good many triggerfish, lots of ruby lip grunts, some black snappers in there. We also, there you see a sheephead. We had a good many amberjacks of the good skillet size.
Okay, now this is our underwater camera. Now we've actually bailed over and don't have the umbilical cord attached to us, so you can see the coloration has changed a little bit. And now we're ready to get into some hard hitting on some fish.
All right, now what Ray's using there is the old thing I started diving with about 35 years ago called a poke pole, we called it. And we didn't use it all that much back in those days. We would mostly use it to gig flounders with. But Ray has got this long aluminum one, and he has perfected this thing down to a science. He slides the fish down to the back end, and there's a great big safety pin he's got hanging on his belt there, and he hooks them up before he pulls them off the end of that pole, and you can just shoot them, slide them down, stick the safety pin through either the gill or the eye, snap it, go get another one.
Now this has got a surgical rubber on the back, so it acts kind of like a big slingshot. You just slide the rubber down and hold the pole, and when you let off tension with the pole, it acts like a slingshot and hits the fish. We're in 65 foot of water here, and you hadn't got a lot of time, so you got to make your time efficient. We had about...
Look at the amberjacks there, bub.
What was that, 40 minutes down?
Yeah, no, we didn't have that much time.
There's a triggerfish.
Triggerfish. Now that pole has got a breakaway head, and that means this: when you spear a fairly large fish, he'll pull off the end, and there's a cable attached to the end of the spear, and he can spin around and around and around, and it kind of wears him down. Then you can bring him on up, hook him up on your line. Now we want to say this about diving: a lot of what you see there in the water is not necessarily sediment, as it is all kind of rich plankton growing in and around this wreck. And the wreck sites themselves, what they are is habitat for the smaller fish. So in other words, it's just like when you're fishing for bass. You want to find a place that's got some structure, and on that structure you'll have smaller fish. And then the other fish will hang around the smaller fish for bait, and then the bigger ones will hang around those, and so it's a food chain. And these wrecks have been dumped out there all over the Gulf. Some of them are natural wrecks that just sunk, and some of them are like these 2 barges that were carried out there. I think they were brought out there on purpose. The state dumped them to give us a good fish, and they're mostly for fishing. the people come down there and they can fish on these, and they're marked on the charts.
Yeah, these are public wrecks put out by state of Alabama.
Now there's a good skillet-sized amberjack he just nailed, and that poke spear is about 4 times as fast or 5 times as fast as our regular spear guns.
There you
See,
go,
sliding her down right onto that little stringer there. The another thing too is in diving out there in that Gulf, we want to tell everybody you don't just hop off a boat and go down and do these kind of things. You want to go to your local dive shop, get with the people that teach diving, and get yourself certified. That means that you've been to school and you understand all the problems you can have down there. I mean, it's a fun thing to do, but you need to have yourself mentally prepared for it, and you need the basic knowledge on the pressure down there and how long you can stay down without getting in trouble. You want to keep safety always in mind. You might want to mention some of the equipment we're using down there too, Bubba.
Yeah, we've got a BC, which is a buoyant control. We can air up from our tanks, which will keep us neutral in the water, we won't have to fight so much to swim around. As you can see, we're just kind of floating around, and he gets in position and shoots his fish and then pulls them down. And you know, we have backup regulators in case something goes wrong, and there's many safety features. Plus, we're all diving right there together and can keep up with each other.
Yeah, now you want to buddy dive all the time.
And all these you learn in your certification at your local dive shops, and any place you can look in the yellow pages and find. Now here comes I think he's getting ready to shoot a flounder. He just seen one get up, and it just looks like a little ball of sand. A lot of people don't know what a flounder looks like on the bottom, but he's kind of getting a look for it now.
That's some fine eating. A lot of times these flounders will come in there and snug up right to these wrecks, and the reason they do that is the wreck forms a barrier, and when the little bait fish come swimming down the edge of that wreck, then he's sitting right there and he gets them. Boy, that was a nice shot on that sheephead right there. Now these sheepheads live off of the little barnacles and crustaceans that grow on the wreck, and so
now here this shows a good
all right, see, he undoes his safety snap and he pokes it through that sheephead's eyes and snaps it back before he ever takes it off the pole. Then all he does is just simply slide that pole down. He's putting his breakaway head back on, putting it on the end there, and watch him slide it off that pole. Now he just gets his hand on it and just brings it right on down. There he comes.
That way it's strung before you take him off the spear, where a conventional spear gun, you've got a long cord on it, and you've got to shoot him, and then you've got to subdue him, then string him up, and then get him off your spear gun, and then reset it for the next shot. So this is a lot faster for this size fish.
Now right here you can see that other regulator that just fell out of his pouch there. That's your safety regulator. In other words, you got one in your mouth, and you've also got one in another little pouch. If one of your buddies happen to get in trouble, he just swims over to you, jerks that regulator right out of that pouch, sticks it in his mouth. Then you're both breathing off of one tank, so it's a lot safer than the old days we used to dive. We didn't have any safety measures at all. We just go down there and kind of use our watch. Now on these 60-foot dives, that's what we're in here. There's a pretty good bit of fish on this wreck. We have a goodly amount of bottom time, and you can usually get in about 3 dives a day at about 60 foot without getting in trouble on decompression. Now this is your flounder. Yeah, there you go. And that's some of your best eating areas down there is these flounders. And he made a nice shot on that one, didn't he, Bud?
Yeah, he did. And a lot of times you won't see them, but they're just, like I said, covered up in the sand.
He's almost got that string slapped full, and it's this particular stringer there is about a 1/4-inch stainless steel with a good strong snap back on it so it won't come undone, because if it does, you see all those fish will be gone. He's coming off the top this time. See there, Bubba?
Yeah, he collapses that spear and pulls it out.
Yeah, it comes on out with it though. And it's just, the place is just full of fish, and you can see he just worked right on in there with it, and just find him one, especially them amberjacks. He's having a good time banging them amberjacks in there too. Looked like old Ray missed one that time,
Yeah,
didn't he?
just good skillet size.
Yep, and just a super dive there now. We're going to come up and get on some more diving
In just a minute.
just a minute.
Outdoors with Archie Phillips is now available on video cassette, like Volume 18, Louisiana Duck Hunting. Louisiana is gifted with the
world's best flyaway and a cast of characters that provide that southern flavor. Our guests have harvested many ducks and they bring their techniques home to you. You learn how to set decoys and a calling lesson you'll never forget. So ask for Louisiana duck hunting at your favorite video store or nearby sporting goods dealer.
Now, Bubba, we got quite a bit of stuff in the water. That's those plankton we was talking about, and that right there is Mark Kennedy, I believe. Now he's got a spear gun that is a vast. No, that's Jim Hanlon there. Jim is a real good spear fisherman. He likes to use the gun, and the reason being, if you're down there in some great big old fish, your pole spear. Those snappers and groupers is pretty smart. Unless you ambush one up in the corner, you don't have enough reach where you can take that double band, what we call the elephant guns, and get out there and reach out and pick them off pretty good with those.
Yeah, but I think Jim was carrying both a spear gun and a pole spear down and dropping one on the bottom and figuring out what he wanted to go after. I think he's here looking for a grouper he had seen earlier, which was in some of the little crevices of the wreck. And that's what he's doing now, is looking for that grouper.
Well, now, I carried my gun down also with me. I kind of like to have a spear gun. When I'm down there and one of them great big old monster hickeys that comes swimming by, there he's got him a black snapper right there. Now, there's a choice fish right there. And he got him. That's Ray there. No, that's Jim. He's got him with the spear gun. Now, with a poke spear, he could have just simply run that thing on down the line and hooked him on up. But that's a real choice fish right there. And now these black snappers, that's Ray that shot that fish, Bubba.
Yeah, that looks like Ray there.
Yeah, he got that one on a pole spear. But I've been on a wreck right off of Phillips Inlet one time. It was an old boiler down there, and it had about 100 of them, about 8 to 10 pounds, and we could ease up over the boiler, spears one, pull him back out of the boiler, get out on the ground out there and undo all that mess, and then go ahead and string them up and then get back over the top of the boiler and do the same thing.
Now here we've got a sea turtle, and you can see the amoras or the pilot sharks all around him.
And even sheephead, look at them sheepheads working around him.
This one, he's real big, and Ray tried to swim up beside him to give you some idea of how large this turtle is, but he wasn't going to have no part of that. But the amoras and all just feed off of the busted up fish that he feeds on, the scraps and all, and they just kind of
trail right along there with him. I'll tell you something else about those old big turtles. A lot of them are in the endangered list, and you don't want to monkey with them. He was probably, I would say that turtle was in the 400-pound category, 4 to 5.
Yeah, well, Jim tried to swim up to give you a comparison, of how big it was, but when he got about that close, he took off.
And I think I saw a redfish look at that one them fish right up under him there. They just follow him. Now, they've got a suction up on their head. They can swim up under his belly and attach that suction cup to that shell or any fish, as far as that matter goes, and get a free ride. They don't even have to swim. That's why some people, their real name is remora, but they are some people call them pilot sharks. And we just covered up with amberjacks. I just want you to look at the amberjacks in that particular scene right there.
This size wreck just has really got the fish all over it. Just because you may be topside fishing for them and they're not biting, the fish are down there and they don't move from that. There's a good picture of a sheephead just easing along the bottom. And these fish are not spooked that much by divers unless they've been dove on a lot. And like Ray said, the public wrecks, a lot of people tend not to dive on them because they think everybody dived them out, but you can see these fish are just everywhere.
And we actually dropped some lines down first and caught several nice big snappers. So they will bite, but it's a funny thing about when you're bait fishing on a wreck, sometimes you can catch a few and they'll just flat quit biting. Now, you can put fried ice cream down if you want to, and they still ain't going to hit. So the main thing to remember, and that's even if you're freshwater fishing, just because you see fish on those graphs, that's no indication that the fish that's on there are going to bite. And many a deep sea captain has been sitting on top of something like this right here, and the fish simply wouldn't bite. because I guess that's Mother Nature's way of preserving the species.
Yeah, you can just see they just roll from the top. You can even see the cleat there that was on the side of the wreck, and they just roll from one side to the other. These, I think, are ruby-lipped grunts, and there was just millions of them down there.
And that little fish, it's a fair eating fish. They don't get too big. I would say that half the 3/4 pounder would be a pretty good one. A lot of them about the size of a fair-sized brim. But they'll take a hook pretty good, but you got to use a smaller hook and some shrimp and that type stuff. But the wreck was just filled up with virtually any kind of fish you want to see. Now the snappers, when you first go down, you'll be able to see your snappers, and you're going to probably get spear 1 or 2 or 3, but they have a tendency to lay out from the wreck, and you're not going to get into too much of there unless you can box them in inside the wreck. And there we're down under there showing the fish working around under the wreck.
And you can see, like I said, it's just covered with all types of fish, and they just kept going. You know, you can swim right up to them. That's why the pole spear is real effective on these type wrecks, because you actually just swim up to them and point them at them and let off the tension, and you've got them. And you can go down and choose the fish that you want. Like I say, it's not like fishing from early morning till late afternoon. You're going to make 3 dives, anywhere from 20 minutes to about a maximum of 40 according to the depths, to allow for your decompression. So you're not going to be fishing as much as you would just with a line, because you could fish up top, but you know there's limits to this too. You're not going to fill the back of a boat up on a spearfishing trip at like 60 feet. You're just not going to have that kind of bottom time.
Well, another thing too is once you go to spearing fish down there, after you've dove one wreck, say one tank on a wreck with all of the blood and the stuff in the water, it's not a bad idea to pick on up off of that wreck and come on and go get on another one, because when the sharks start coming around there, I believe there's 2 kinds, hungry ones and non-hungry ones, and I don't want to be there whenever one of them's real hungry, and me hanging there with maybe 25 to 50 pound of fish hanging off my side up real close to my BC there.
There's Jim looking for another grouper.
And a lot of these fish are right in those cracks. You just got to get in there and hunt them out, and if you can find them in there, you can kind of ambush them with that pole spear and just slide in there and get a good shot on them right on the pec fin, and that'll take care of them.
Outdoors with Archie Phillips is now available on video cassette, like Volume 17, Turkey Calling with a Champion. Preston Pittman, one of the nation's best turkey callers, takes you to his favorite hunting area in Monticello, Mississippi. Preston shares with you how to predict turkey habits and territories, and how to call turkeys from the beginner to the most professional. Preston also teaches you his midday hunting techniques. So ask for Outdoors with Archie Phillips, Turkey Hunting with a Champion at your local video store.
Now on this dive, Bubba, y'all got down a little quicker than I did, and I came in on a little different part of another wreck there, and it was full of amberjack and spadefish. There I got a amberjack right off, and this is an extremely fun thing to do, is spearfishing down there. You get a little everything. You get to hunt, you get to swim, you get to dive, and you get to shoot and pursue. It's just a real good thing to do. And these fish right here were fairly easy to take. Now, while I was diving, you know, you and I hadn't dove together in several years, and you couldn't stand me sitting there spearing all them fish, right, could you, Bubba?
Running that camera was fun till this is about 6:30 that evening, and I done watched everybody have a lot of fun till I couldn't stand it no longer, and we had to do a little swapping up.
In other words, I felt somebody tugging on my shoulder, and I looked over and Bubba had passed the camera to me, took my spear gun, didn't ask for it, just took it. And the next few shots in there, you were banging away at a few of them yourself. There's old Bubba going. You release that spear, release that rubber, and away she goes there. And
see just how it works.
Yeah.
In that shot. And there was quite a few spadefish on here, which made for some real good eating about 2 days later.
Yeah, them things were delicious, and they were just hundreds and hundreds of them in there. It just, the spearfishing part was real simple. Now there's my twist-off shot right there. He twisted my spear right off the end, and went on down there, and I had nothing down there to hunt with except a straight shaft.
And I think it was down to 5 minutes is all we had left on this bottom time, so there was no time to go up, get a new spearhead, and come back. So there was just one more shot left.
And I took that bare pole, busted him right through the middle, and ran him way up on there, and without even a spear, we nailed him and got him on there and strung him up and got to the top.
Outdoors with Archie Phillips is now available on video cassette, like Volume 16, Catfish. Jug fishing teaches you the art of catching catfish with quart jugs, while Jump Box shows a fast and easy way to set a trot line. Box fishing shows how to use slat boxes, and grabbing catfish shows the technique of catching catfish out of submerged logs. So ask for Catfish at your local video store or nearby sporting goods dealer.
Well, fellas, that sun just about beat us before we got in just then. We had a pretty good little run of current. Had a problem getting in the boat. Me and Bubba got in that current out there. And
Boy, it's a long kick back in when you get behind that
boy,
boat.
the fish just wrapped us up. I spun the end of mine off. I was poking him without even a spear on the end of it.
Oh, my goodness.
How many pound of fish we got there, Ray?
We ought to have 250 pounds.
250 pounds. That's a good full day of diving, and it's some of the clearest water in the world. A lot of people don't realize in and around Mobile, of course, down at Destin, it's clear, and Panama City and down through there, but it's just lots of wrecks out here. And Jim, y'all been dumping stuff too, hadn't you?
Yeah,
we've
been putting a lot of things on the bottom to attract these fish. But I'm about ready to go sample some of that Mobile seafood cooking. How about you,
I
Archie?
am too, and I want all y'all to know Mark enjoyed the hospitality on your boat here.
Glad to have y'all.
And I like that little black book you've got. It's got all these places marked. They sure make diving a lot of fun.
That's better than women's phone numbers, isn't it?
You got that right. And y'all folks stay tuned again next week for some more Outdoors with Archie Phillips. We're going to take you to all kind of places, having a good time like we always do. And we'll see y'all again next week.